If you've ever tried gardening in zones 3 or 4, you know the struggle.
Short summers, late frosts, and unpredictable weather.
But here's the truth. You don't need a longer season to grow a beautiful, productive garden. You just need the right strategy.
Gardening in zone 3 and 4 is all about timing, preparation, and working with your climate instead of fighting it.
Your growing season is short, sometimes only 90 to 120 days, so every decision matters.
But once you understand how to plan around frost dates, gardening actually becomes simpler.
Before you plant anything, you need to know 2 key dates: your last spring frost and your first fall frost.
In zones 3 and 4, the last frost can stretch all the way into late May or even mid-June, which is why so many first-time gardeners struggle.
It's not that they're doing everything wrong, it's that they're starting too early.
Cold soil is one of the biggest hidden problems.
Even if the air feels warm during the day, the ground can still be too cold for seeds to germinate or for roots to establish properly. So instead of rushing into planting, the real goal early in the season is preparation.
If you get your timing right, everything else becomes much easier.
If there's one thing that will make or break your garden, it's soil.
In colder climates, soil tends to stay wet longer and warm up more slowly, which can delay growth right from the start.
Adding compost or organic matter isn't just about feeding your plants.
It helps improve drainage so roots don't sit in cold, soggy conditions, and it also helps the soil warm up faster in the spring.
A small difference in temperature can actually speed up your entire growing timeline.
This is also why raised beds are so popular in colder zones.
They warm up earlier, drain better, and give you more control overall.
It's not required, but it can give you a noticeable advantage in your first year.
Choosing the right plants in zone 3 and 4 isn't just helpful, it's everything.
Because the season is short, you want plants that are not only productive, but fast and reliable.
Early in the season, focus on crops that actually thrive in cooler temperatures.
Lettuce varieties like Butter Crunch or Black Seed Simpsons establish quickly and don't mind chilly soil.
Spinach like Bloomsdale is another strong early performer, and peas like Sugar Ann are perfect because they mature fast and tolerate cold better than most crops.
As you move closer to the end of the frost, you can start thinking about warm season plants.
For tomatoes, look for shorter season options like Early Girl or Stupus, which are known for producing faster in cooler climates.
Beans like the Provider are reliable and germinate well even if the soil isn't perfectly warm yet. And zucchinis, such as Black Beauty, grow quickly once temperature stabilizes.
Cold hardy flowers like pansies can go in early and handle unpredictable spring weather without issue.
As the season warms up fast, growers like calendula and alyssum start filling in quickly, adding color while also supporting beneficial insects.
And if you want something that gives you both beauty and function, nasturtiums are an easy win. They grow fast, tolerate poor soil, and even help deter certain pests.
When you combine fast vegetables with resilient flowers, your garden doesn't just survive a short season, it actually thrives in it.
If you're planning your first garden this season, this is the perfect time to get started.
We have seeds and pre-orders available through the Wildwood Express link, so you can plan your garden the right way from the beginning.
In these zones, timing is everything.
So here's the month-by-month breakdown of how the season actually flows.
March is where your garden really begins, even if everything outside is still frozen.
This is your planning phase, but it's also your opportunity to get ahead.
Starting seeds indoors during this month makes a huge difference in zones 3 and 4, especially for slower crops.
Tomatoes like Early Girl or Stupus benefit from this early start, along with peppers, if you're growing them.
At the same time, you can start flowers like pansies indoors, so they're ready to go as soon as conditions allow.
By April, things start to shift, even if it's subtle.
As snow melts and the ground begins to thaw, you can start preparing your soil whenever it becomes workable.
This is the moment when you start to think about directly sowing your earliest crops.
Spinach like Bloomsdale, peas like Sugar Ann, and even hardy flowers like calendula can begin going into the ground if conditions are right.
Indoors, your seeding should get stronger. This is where consistency really matters. Light watering and airflow all play a role in how well they'll transition outside later.
May is where patience gets tested.
You'll have warm days that make it seem like it's ready to plant everything, but frost is the real risk.
This is the transition period where you continue planting cool season crops outdoors while beginning to harden off your indoor plants.
This process refers to slowly exposing them to the outdoor conditions, and it's what prevents shock when they finally get planted.
For flowers, this is also when pansies can safely go out, bringing early color to the garden while everything else is still developing.
After the risk of frost has passed, you can finally move your warm season plants outside with confidence.
Tomatoes, beans, and zucchini all go in at this stage.
This is also the perfect time to plant fast-growing flowers like alyssum, nasturtiums, which will quickly fill in gaps and start attracting pollinators.
Everything begins to grow rapidly now, and your garden starts to take shape.
July is when your garden starts to shift into full growth mode.
Your early crops are ready to harvest, and your warm season plants are putting on strong growth.
This is where staying on top of watering becomes essential, especially as temperatures rise.
Flowers like calendula will begin producing continuously if you harvest regularly, and vegetables like lettuce can still be replanted in small batches for a steady supply.
By August, your garden is at its peak.
This is when consistency pays off. The more you harvest, the more your plants will keep producing.
You can also start thinking ahead by planting another round of fast crops like spinach to extend your season slightly.
September brings cooler nights back into the picture, and this is when you start watching the forecast more closely.
Your main focus shifts to harvesting and protecting what you've grown.
Some flowers and cool season crops can continue for a bit longer, especially if you get mild weather, but one frost can change everything overnight.
Covering plants when needed can buy you extra time, and in zones 3 and 4, even a few extra weeks can make a difference.
And if this kind of step-by-step guidance helps you, make sure to subscribe.
We break everything down in a simple, practical way so you can follow along no matter what you're growing.
One thing that often gets overlooked is how you water.
Instead of watering every day, it's better to water deeply and less often.
This encourages roots to grow down into the soil, making your plants more resilient over time.
Support is another detail that's easy to forget at the beginning.
Plants like tomatoes grow quickly once they take off, and adding support after they've already sprawled can be difficult.
Setting that up early keeps everything more manageable.
If you want a real advantage in zones 3 and 4, this is where tools like cold frames come in.
Think of them as mini greenhouses that trap heat and protect your plants from the frost.
They allow you to start planting earlier in the spring and keep things growing later into the fall.
Even something as simple as a basic cold frame can extend your season by a few weeks on both ends, which is huge in a short growing window.
And maybe the most important thing is to let go of perfection.
Your first garden isn't about getting everything right.
It's about learning how your specific space behaves and learning from it.
If you're starting your first garden this year, let us know in the comments.
And if this helped you, subscribe for more practical, real-world gardening guides.